This con
Okay, so as you know, we said that our goal here is to get to step 7 and be able to prepare financial statements. And I showed you what the statements look like on day 1. And so now for this first week, we've looked at steps 1 and 2, analyzing transactions and making journal entries. So when we have a business, every financial transaction is analyzed and a journal entry is made. And we're now ready to go to steps 3 and 4, posting to the ledger and preparing a trial balance. Posting to the ledger and preparing a trial balance. As we move to this step, our chart of accounts is important. When we put accounts in the ledger, they need to be in the same order that they're in this chart of accounts. The assets, the liabilities, stockholders' equity, revenues, and expenses. So you're going to keep your accounts in this order. This chart of accounts also gives you NB, the normal balance of what the account should be. So cash should have a debit balance, receivables should have a debit balances, accounts payable credit balance. So if that's not the case, then you know that something, is awry. So you got your normal balances here. So now you'll see where that comes into play as we get into steps 3 and 4. So let's go back to our problem where we illustrated the recording of journal entries, and I've added to that posting to the ledger and preparing the trial balance. In step 2, we want to know after this transaction how much money is there in cash. Okay. How much is in receivables? How much is in each account? So in step 3, we're going to post these transactions to the ledger, and we're going to determine how much is in each account. Finally, we will add up our debits and credits, step 4, to make sure we're in balance. So let's begin this process. And for review, we're going to make the journal entries again. So we invested $10,000 to start this business. And so we would do what? So for transaction 1, we're going to debit cash, and we're going to credit common stock. And of course, this is a type 1, and the amount was 10,000. The account number for cash is what?
100,
Common stock?
400.
Okay. Now let's look at posting to the ledger. This is a ledger where we're going to list each account and put in the transactions that relate to them. We're going to put these accounts in that order of the chart of accounts: cash, receivables, inventory, the other assets. We probably put our liabilities here, then the interest related to stockholders' equity, common stock, retained earnings, etc., then our revenue, then our expenses. So when we post an entry, if it's on the debit side in the journal entry, it comes into that chart of accounts on the debit side. So in transaction 1, when we get to this chart of accounts, we're gonna start with cash, and we're gonna put that 10,000 debit in there. And we're gonna do something else. We're gonna put in parentheses 1, which tells us that this came from journal entry 1. Now I'm going to go to common stock and go on the credit side, 10,000. We're going to put the 1 in again. So that we know that we have both the debit and the credit posted for that entry. So once again, we simply go to that journal entry. So this is just a procedure process. You made the journal entry. You post it on the debit side in the account if it's a debit and a credit. And so here we have all our accounts in here because we want to know how much is in each account, how much cash we have after all of these transactions. So let's get the rest of them done. Cash received from car rental revenue, $50,000. So we're going to debit cash, and we're going to credit sales. This is, of course, transaction 2 here. Our type is 2. Our accounts are what?
100 and 500.
Now, dollar amount was what?
50,000.
So now we're going to post this. We're going to go to the account for cash, put the 50,000 in. Then we're going to reference it as 2. And we're going to go to sales, put in 50,000. And its posting reference is 2. Any questions? So let's see if we can get these finished then. Collection of cash on account from corporate customers, 20,000. So we're now to 3. And that happens to be what? A type 3. So we're going to debit cash. What are we going to credit?
Accounts receivable.
We're going to credit account receivable. Accounts what? 100. And what? 110.
Mm-hmm.
And what's our amount?
20,000.
Now we need to post this one. So we go to cash. Our posting reference here is journal entry 3. And now we have a credit in accounts receivable for 20,000 because we haven't put in our 15 journal entry yet.
Yeah, so cute.
Pardon? And let's go through our next journal entry. Receipt of the short-term working capital loans, 25,000. So now this is transaction 4. This type what?
5.
5. We're going to debit cash.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to credit what?
Notes
Notes
payable.
payable. Now this is different. We're borrowing money. This is altogether different from buying something with debt. So some of you were confusing that. And we have 100. What's notes payable?
350.
So let's get this one posted. So you see we building up to see how much cash we have and how much is in each account. Okay, we'll put notes payable here. $25,000. Transaction 5, we purchase supplies paying cash of $1,000. So we on transaction 5 now. We're purchasing cash, paying $5,000, paying $1,000. That is a type what?
7.
7, purchase of an asset. So we're debiting supplies. That's the asset that's purchased. What's our account number for supplies?
130.
And now we're paying cash. So cash is being credited. So we're getting into these journal entries where cash is being paid and it's credited. So of course, on your next exam, you gotta, you're gonna have to be posting so you can see why you need to balance your time. So we'll go down here and we'll put an account in for supplies here.
Those T charts that you're working on at the bottom, will you post those to Blackboard for us to print out to have on that?
Okay. What was it? 1,000. This is journal entry 5. Now we have a credit to cash of 1,000. Okay, so paid on accounts payable 5,000. So we're paying on accounts payable. So we're going to debit the liability, accounts payable. And once again, we're crediting cash. This is a type what?
8.
Cash is 100. What's accounts payable?
301.
What's our amount?
5,000.
This is number 6. So we'll go down here again. Cash now has a credit of 5,000. And accounts payable has a debit of 5,000. Paid rent expense 3,000. So we paid the rent expense 3,000. So that's transaction 7. Paid the rent expense. And what type is this?
9.
What's our amount?
3,000.
Cash is 100. What's rent expense?
651.
Notice I'm coming all the way down here, trying to make sure I stay in order. What journal entry was this?
7.
7 or 6?
It was 7.
So, okay. So we need 3,000 here. So you can see we put the transactions in there so we can determine how much is in each account. 8, we paid dividends of $2,000. We paid dividends of $2,000. So we, of course, will be debiting dividends, crediting cash once again. Our amount is 2,000. Our type is what?
10.
10. So this is number 8. Our account number for dividends?
455.
Cash, of course, is 100. So let's go and post this $2,000. Go to cash, credit up 2,000. And we'll come in here with dividends and just put it here. And this is journal entry what?
8.
8. Journal entry 9, we purchased supplies on account for 8,000. So what's our type here?
12.
So we're going to debit
Supplies.
and we're going to credit what accounts payable.
Yes.
And that was what, 5,000?
8,000.
8,000? Okay.
Yeah.
This is number 9 here. So what's our account number for supplies?
130.
Accounts payable?
301.
301. So let's go and get that posted. And and here we have the credit that's coming into accounts payable. And we got one more. Which one is that?
10.
And that's what?
Type 15.
Corporate revenue, $30,000. So we're on our last transaction. I'll just put it here. 10. And our amounts are 30,000, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What's our type?
15.
This is a 15. So we're going to debit what?
Account number 110 for accounts receivable.
110. And we're going to credit what?
500 sales.
And let's get this posted. So and we're going to go down to sales and put in $30,000. So we have all the journal entries made. Now we need to see how much is in each account. We need to see how much is in each account. So the way we're going to do that, we're going to add up the debits. So we add up these debits. How much are they?
$105.
Just 105. Now we're going to add up all the credits.
11.
We're going to take the difference and put it on the side of the larger. So our difference would be what?
94.
Yeah.
How much?
94.
94,000.
94,000. And so our balance in this account is 94,000 on the debit side. And having done that, we can now go to our trial balance where we're going to list all of these accounts. Put cash in and say cash has a balance of 94,000 on the debit side. Next, we're going to go to receivables. It has a debit of 30 and a credit of 20. And so its balance is what?
10.
On what side?
The debit.
The debit side. We always come to the side of the larger. Now we can come and put the 10,000 in here as the balance and account receivable. We come to supplies, we only have debits, so 1 and 8 is what?
9.
$9,000. So that becomes the balance. So we can now put supplies on here. So we're listing the balances in each account. So this process is a lot easier than making the journal entry because it's basically procedural. Okay, so we now come to accounts payable, a debit of 5, a credit of 8.
So it'd be 3,000 credited.
So we have 3,000 on the credit side. Notice we're keeping them in order. Notes payable only has one transaction, so its balance is going to be what? 25,000. Then we come to common stock, one item of 10,000, so its balance is 10,000. Then we have what, dividends of 2,000. So on the debit side,
Mhm.
we got to put it on the debit side here. Okay, so what's next after dividends?
Sales, I think.
Sales. And we have two items in here, all on the credit side. So its balance is going to be what?
30,000.
3,000.
And finally, we have rent expense with a balance of what? One transaction, 5,000. So the question becomes, we now know how much is in each account. Okay. Cash, receivable, supplies, note payable, common stock, dividends, and sales. But we now need a total. Put this down here.
Can you share your screen?
It's not being shared.
No,
You sure?
I can't see it. I'm seeing you.
What about everybody else?
I can see your screen.
That's it.
So the screen is showing for everybody else. It's showing on mine that the screen is up. So who is that having the problem? So hopefully we'll clear it out. So just check with me after. So now we need a total. As you might expect, the total needs to be the same on both. The debits and credits need to be the same. So if you add these debits up, how much do you get?
120,000.
How much are your credits?
18,000 look like. 80. Yeah, it looked like 118,000.
So that means we've done something wrong.
Oh,
Because they're supposed to be equal. So what did we do wrong?
Um,
did we do wrong?
Are you moving too fast?
Got moving too fast. All right,
We
what did we do wrong? Does the cash look okay?
Yeah. And the accounts receivable.
Roll down some more.
The supplies look fine.
Account payable,
Mm-hmm.
no payable, sales,
Yeah, I'm going back to my spreadsheet. 30 for sales and 50, so that's
why are we
right.
not balancing? So let's add them up again. Okay, so when this happens, we need to go back to our postings and make sure they're correct, that they're the same. So we go to journal entry 1, 10,000 for journal entry 1. We go to common stock, 10,000. Then we go to journal entry 2, 50. And in sales, it's at 50. Then we go to journal entry 3. It's 20,000 in cash.
And it's 20,000 in accounts receivable.
Then we go to journal entry 4. It's 25,000 in cash. And we should have a note payable for 25,000. Then we go to journal entry 5. Said the credit was 1,000.
And we should have debited 1,000 for supplies.
Got 1,000 for supply. Then we go to journal entry 6. This is
Correct.
5,000 where we paid on accounts payable.
Mm-hmm.
That's 5,000.
We got that as number 6, though. You got a number 6 next to that 5,000. Oh, that is supposed to be 6. Okay. I'm just making.
And in transaction 7, we paid $3,000 for something, right?
Yeah, for the rent.
We got a credit of 7. Aha.
Oh, it's too much.
Oh, yeah, it's supposed to be 3,000, not 5,000.
This would be what, 3,000? And so the rent would be 3,000. And our total would be what?
118.
So you can see the ease of finding that error because we have the journal entries numbers in our post reference. If you don't put those journal entry numbers in, then it's a lot difficult. So whenever you don't balance on the trial balance, your starting point is check the balance in each account. A lot of time will be in the cash. If that doesn't clear it up, then you got to go check each journal entry to make sure the debits and credits are equal. Are there any questions?
No, sir.
So everybody can do this now.
Are you going to upload that document for us
Yeah, we need the document.
so that we can actually have it?
Okay. So your assignment now is to go to that quiz I just gave you. Post those journal entries and come up with a balanced trial balance. So Dominique should be almost finished. So I want you to go to the trial balance.
I ain't separated like that.
So post those to the trial balance. Raquel, did you get your quiz in?
I'm working on that now. I came in a little late.
Okay. And Zeandra, what about you?
Yeah, I've been post mine.
And Odu?
Is it showing?
Yeah, I turned it in.
All right, let's try to be on time next time, all right? Okay.
Are we
Well,
going to be in class on Friday regularly?
Are we gonna what?
We having class on Friday regularly?
Yeah, scheduled 5 days a week.
Okay, I didn't know that because I have another summer school class and she said that TSU doesn't work on Fridays or do class on
Oh,
Friday.
that's for Dominique, the people who work there. That's not for our classes. But you see, some people, you know. I think we probably need to meet 5 days a week. What y'all think?
We need a break in the middle of the week.
A break in the middle of the week.
Wednesday.
All right, we'll see. Now, what I may do on that Wednesday, I guess I can look at that. That might just be an office hour day for where people having problems. I work with them, so that's a thought. But it depends on how y'all doing that, gotta be. So what I want you to do is to go to that quiz that I gave you.
Are you gonna? Is this session recorded? Because I was doing my quiz when you was introducing the.
Was recorded.